Is it okay with you if we don't talk about politics like we normally do?
That's fine.
Because it's so depressing. But I mean, I do want to, and we are going to, just not to the extent, because I want to get to some like actual like life stuff, fun stuff, like just something to feel good about.
Yeah, can I say thank you to our listeners? We're now at our 12th episode.
Oh, yeah.
And we've had a great outpouring of support. Yeah, happy anniversary. In most realms, this will be a full season, but we'll continue for a few more weeks in this first season. But we have some fans who have watched every episode of our show, and not just in the U.S., but across the country.
Oh, that's so exciting.
We now have Singapore, and we've had Russia.
Look, we're international.
And to our fans in Washington, D.C., we see you and thank you. Reach out to us on social media. Once our channel gets bigger, we'll remember you. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And
I love it.
Special meet and greet for all of our firsts. There are like diamond, platinum elite members.
What do you mean meet and greet?
I don't know.
Oh, well,
like if the podcast gets even bigger, you can be like Marshmallow and wear a hat.
I would need a hat. I would need like a literal beard. I need sunglasses.
And you'll have one of those, you can even disguise your voice in person if you want. Talk like on an AI transformer and you sound like a robot.
Like Stephen Hawkins?
Yeah.
I don't know. I do hate my voice, so it would be great if it was deeper. But let's talk about that at some other point. Let's reach that crescendo at some. But thank anybody who's listening.
I'm just saying,
we love you and the loyalty and you guys participating. I love it. I love you and thank you so much. Happy 12th anniversary episode. Less political today, but we do have to talk about Vladimir Trump's pardons. I mean, he just pardoned the Chrisley family, the Chrisley crime family, who ripped off so many people and lied on their taxes to the tune of I think it was $14 million. He just pardoned them the other day. They're pardoned. They're out of prison. So you can break the law in Trump's America. And if you are aligned with him and his conservative values, and you're also he's a criminal lover. Criminals, birds of the same feather flock together.
Yeah.
So he pardoned them. So this is a lawless time. The president that's supposedly tough on crime is only tough if it is something that doesn't serve him. And he's totally cool with any type of crime if it serves him, his agenda, the people around him, or will help benefit his staying in power.
Okay, but to be fair and balanced here, Biden did at the last minute pardon his son, who was literally bought a gun while cracked out.
That's his son. That's his son. Again, you're comparing berries and watermelons.
Yes, but I don't think it's fair
not
just
a good
to
comparison.
Trump is bad, Trump bad, Trump bad. That's never gonna change people's minds. It's like
it's not Trump being bad. It's what he does that's bad. He's a bad guy, sure, but I'm judging what's been done. That is like a right wing, deflection move by saying, well, what's this over here? Look over here. Well, what about over here? And you doing that with Biden is not the same thing as what Trump's doing. I told you already from the beginning, I'm not a Biden fan. I did vote for him because he's the lesser of two evils. But pointing that out is not going to, pointing the finger over there is not going to distract me what's happening right in front of my eyes. $14 million, dude. We're not talking about buying how many people do you think that voted for Trump who are conservative are buying ghost guns on the street today?
Okay, Trump is like a pimple. Are you going to blame him for being the problem, or the ooze-laden, festering swamp underneath that enabled the pimple to exist? I don't get he's the head of the pimple. He is the visible manifestation of the pimple.
But it took a lot of gunk. The grime and the gunk is all
builds up. I'm saying in a system where we do these things, whether it's a lesser offense in your eyes or a higher offense,
it is.
Pardon. It's like we're setting a precedent that criminals can be pardoned by the president. It just sets a precedent for the president to do what they want.
No other president in our history is pardoning the amount of people and the amount of criminals that this president does. No president. And I would bet if you added up every president in history, it wouldn't add up to the amount of people that this president is pardoning. He's not pardoning political prisoners. He's not pardoning people that spoke out at a rally and that were mistreated by the police. He's pardoning criminals.
Yeah.
He's pardoning people that were already incarcerated in prison. Biden was doing things that I also don't believe in, like commuting death row sentences, which, by the way, you would be a fan of. He was commuting those death row inmates. I didn't believe that was a good, to pardon those people instead of some of the other people that didn't have his attention. Like, where's the real attention? What about the people that are still in foreign countries that are political prisoners? What about all this attention that should have been put on some things that would help the American people? So do I think that Biden should have pardoned death row inmates and had those sentences commuted to life? No. But does that compare in any way to Trump pardoning actual criminals and getting them out of jail? It's not the same thing. We're talking about people that hurt many, many people. We're talking about people that killed people, like the fucking January insurrectionists. All those people are out on the street and causing problems, by the way. I just read another article, and another one of them, a separate one, was on a podcast abusing a guy that lost his kid. He was basically calling the father, a wimp, saying this all happened because you didn't stand up against this like Mexican person that killed your son. This is, so the recidivism, maybe not in crime, but being a stain and a shit stain on society, it's already happening because these January 6ers, these insurrectionists, have been emboldened and empowered by our shit president who doesn't care about crime if it helps him. These people were in prison for committing crimes and he is letting them out. That is totally different. I'm so fired up over this because if people have that mentality, that's where we got
here.
Yeah,
but you're totally misunderstanding and weaponizing. No. Yes, 100%. No. What I'm saying is...
No. We're never going to agree on this.
It's not something to...
I'm not... what am I weaponizing?
I'm disagreeing with you on. You're weaponizing what I said without letting me fully explain. It's like... It is a deeper symptom.
You said what you said.
You said you're fired up. Okay. Presidential pardons are something that has existed and has been controversial since its inception. Clinton also pardoned family members.
Why don't you keep talking about Republicans? For somebody who's an independent, you're only looking at anytime you bring up on 12 episodes, happy anniversary, by the way. In 12 episodes, you constantly bring out Democratic presidents that you feel have wronged you or society, but you never seem to bring out Republican presidents. You bring up Clinton and Biden almost every time we talk about politics. How come you don't bring up Bush or Reagan?
They both did bad things.
What about Trump's first
automatically
term?
Dislike them. I talk about Bush all the time and invading Iraq.
That one thing. That's the only thing you've ever brought up about Bush.
No, starting mass surveillance of people.
You didn't say that about Bush.
That's something I'm saying it now. What I'm saying is the presidential pardon is a power that we've given presidents, and we should look into that.
The Constitution gives that power to the president. We haven't changed. That hasn't been changed.
It is. It's probably an amendment, and I would have to look further into this. But I'm saying that is a power that has been given to presidents, and they don't use it appropriately. Right now is a main sign of pardoning these criminals. But what I'm saying in general is, why do we have this blanket ability for presidents to just pardon who they want?
I totally agree with that. But
that is what I'm saying. I'm saying
since it's there, instead of looking at it like, why do we even have this? Which the chances of getting that ameliorated are slim to none. Instead of looking at it like, why do we even have this in the first place? How about looking at the abuse of it? Because it's always been, let's say, abused by one president or another in a way that's going to make somebody feel a certain way. But no president has ever done it to the extent that this president has. They probably haven't combined done it to the extent that this president has. And moreover, this president is pardoning criminals. People that have been put in jail for a reason because they're a threat and a risk to society. And
isn't that what a pardon is? Anyone who's pardoned is a criminal. Correct?
Anyone who's pardoned has committed a crime, but is not necessarily in jail for a violent crime. Or for crimes that have, like, these people didn't just lie on their taxes. They've cheated a lot of other people that may be bankrupt now. Maybe one of those people could be related to you or your friend or someone that you know, and you might feel differently about it then. But I don't look at the system is so broken, but you can't just upend the whole system because that's what got us here. That's what got Trump elected for a second term. You can't look at America as the problem. You have to look at the people that take advantage of freedoms in America as the problem. That's how I look at it, because we're always going to be here if people that have the right heart and the right level of common sense and some brain power, if we're still so conflicted on things like this, we're never going to get it. This is how authoritarian regimes stay in power, is because people like you and I won't agree on these things.
No, that's how democracy works, where people don't agree on things, but we still can coexist in a society.
Right, but is it working?
I think when people get so fired up and start disengaging the other person's from the conversation at all, that shuts people out and you polarize.
That's how I felt from you.
Well,
I felt like you completely disconnected. Like, as soon as I said I was fired up, you like put your head down, you started looking at your computer, like you weren't into what I was saying because you were already looking at how you can combat what I just told you.
No, I'm looking up what I need to know so I can make an informed statement. And I didn't even know where the pardon powers come from. I assumed that was something that happens and then precedent is granted, but it's Article 2, Clause 1 in the Constitution. So it's probably not.
I told you that.
Yes.
You wanted to find a way to refute what I was saying.
No, I literally looked up, where does the president's pardon power come from? So I could see for myself.
What I'm troubled by is that if people think the way, by the way, I don't agree. I don't think that everything that I think is correct. But to me, democracy, you can't dumb down what we're saying to, oh, this is how democracy works. Guess what? Right now, because people are so divided and people are so confused and people aren't seeing the forest for the trees, that democracy isn't working. And right now we have a dictator that will take as much power as we'll give him. Uh-oh. Is it working?
It's working, but your arms were covering the top of it.
Oh, shit. Do we have to re-record?
I was looking at the waveform. If we need to edit, we'll edit around because I'm not sure. We're good.
Are you sure? For sure?
It's still recording, yes.
We should re-record now rather than go into what we did last time where I hate these mics. I'm starting to lose gusto.
Well, you said you didn't want to talk about politics today, so
yeah, but if we just cut all that out, like, I just can't waste my time like this anymore on this shit. Like, I have to have a mic where I can move my body and be comfortable and not feel like every move I make is going to distort a podcast and waste my fucking time.
It's
recording.
Not. As long as it's high enough, you can keep your arms like this and it's fine.
I just have to constantly be watching this, and it's happened like so many times. Like, what if all of that was lost?
It wasn't. I would have noticed earlier. I've checked. That's why I looked down so I can see timing, waveform.
Okay. All right. But anyways, let's switch gears because obviously I have a feeling about it, and it's like, it's not looking good. It's not looking good for America. And we're about to have like a Trump military parade. You know about that?
Trump military parade?
Yeah. So his birthday, he wants to have a military parade for his birthday. It's going to cost the taxpayers $45 million. He's going to have tanks, planes, flying, all that. Can you think of other world leaders that would do something like that?
Yeah, it sounds like Putin's parade.
Yeah, or Kim Jong-un or whatever the fuck, right? What American president do you know would do that?
Trump. That sounds like totally.
We haven't. Again, we can't keep comparing him to other presidents because he's doing bad things.
This is
expensive
the Golden Dome project, a military parade. That totally sounds like Trump.
Comparing him to other presidents is
Middle East, like all their shows of might, and funny enough, in the UAE, like the girls whip their hair. Like, I don't know if you saw the video, but he's walking through, and all these like young girls are just whipping their hair back and forth. It's like a welcome tradition. It's very weird.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I thought
the rest of them were like
show their
swords
faces
and stuff.
Show their hair.
No, the UAE is much more progressive than like Saudi Arabia with rules like that.
But you have to be in the UAE. Once you're out of there, right over the wall, right?
Basically, yeah.
It's totally a different world.
Is very much like,
it's like being in Manhattan in the
but it's not like
Arab
just
Empire.
crossover. Like it's well marked. Everything, like from the people I know who live there, it's
when it's safe and when it's unsafe.
Yes, and the UAE is one of the safest places in the Middle East to go because they're aligned with the US. And also,
I'm confused. Wait, what does this have to do with the military parade?
I was saying Trump saw all of these shows and all of the military people in the Middle Eastern countries, and then Putin had his big thing showing off his new ballistic missile that can go out of Earth's orbit and then come back down. So they send it up, and you don't really know where it's going to land until it's.
This is why I get so upset over
that's why I think he saw
what happened
that
earlier.
And was we should do that too.
I mean, I think he's always just wanted the adulation, and he wants to be the ultimate power in the world. He does. And we've let him. And the conversation that you and I have had earlier is exactly why these people are emboldened and empowered, because we can't get our shit together. We can't rise up as a team and say, this is wrong. I'm
not saying it's not wrong. That word did not come out of my mouth. I think it's wrong.
But that's what I took out of it. That's the implication when you bring up all this other stuff that, hey, what about this over here? What about this over there? And instead of, let's just focus on the problem, which is right in front of our face, right here, not over there, not in the past, not 40 years ago. Right now, this guy who's trying to get away with murder. So the reason why I brought up the parade is that no other president would do that. No other president is doing the pardoning that he's doing. No other president wants to have military parades like this. $45 million, dude, for your birthday when the economy could be in the shitter at any moment. Really? That's where you're going to spend the $45 million? They just cut services. They cut, I think $100 million of veteran services. And they approved, his cabinet approved $300 million in security for the president and his family. And what was the first thing that was cited for the security detail? His golf. He's also played more golf than any other president. When all of the facts...
Can we say he's had more assassination attempts than any other president?
Yeah, okay. Maybe he needs to rack more of those up. You know what I mean? Like, dude, this is getting insane. Like, all the numbers, to me, it's not even funny anymore because he's kind of like a reprobate. You know what a reprobate is? It's like somebody who's so uncouth and so unprincipled, but it comes across as funny in some ways.
Yes, often humorous or affectionate.
Thank you. Okay. But
see, this is why I look
his charm for me personally, because I've always said in this podcast, I'm not a hater. Now I hate him because he's hurting a lot of people. And what he's doing is wrong. He's breaking laws. Him and his family have done it. Now he's pardoning people that have done it many times over and hurt working families. And by the way, I'm not in a position where I'm going to be fine. I worry about the people that aren't going to be fine. I worry about the people that can't afford their bills, that can't afford their apartments, that they want all the things that I'm for, but I'm okay without it and they're not. So I'm fighting for them, and I want to see them get some cojones and fight for themselves in a way that's going to make an impact. That's where my frustration is, that everybody should be as fired up about what Trump's doing as I am. Every single person.
Yeah.
Because it's so bad. He's literally stealing from America so that he can have a birthday parade. He's taking out of the mouths of people that don't have shit so that he can play golf more. And his family, because all these people, him and Alania, all these fuckers, they have so many goddamn kids that we have to protect too. And they're making millions, even billions of dollars from this presidency. And it's no different than Kim Jong-un or fucking
that's why
Putin.
Bernie Sanders has been yelling about oligarchy for years and is doing it.
And we have
oligarchy tour.
For all of his yelling, it made no
but no
difference.
one wanted to listen. And at least he's doing exactly what you just said, standing up. And
more people need to listen, and more people need to stand up.
A grassroots base once again to show them that there is another option.
But it has to shift. The Bernie movement didn't work. It's not powerful enough. It can't be the same old message. It has to shift so that you align with everybody else who's in the Democratic Party, or else you won't have the numbers that you need. The oligarchy will continue.
With a Biden or a Hillary or whoever else again. It's like,
who do you want?
If you don't offer an alternate path forward, a
Hey,
guarantee of
who,
social safety nets and
who do you
protection for
want?
everyday people.
That's going to happen even less now.
Again, and like I said last episode, this anti-oligarchy movement tour is empowering the younger generation who will run. We don't have that person yet. There is Bernie. For all I love him, I don't think he should run. I think that would be way too stressful, and I don't want to see him die before.
I mean, by the time, even if he did run, if he were elected, he would be in his 90s. He would by far, like, most people don't even live to be,
yes.
like,
and I think he could do it, but do I want him to do it? No, because I worry that the stress would end his life early. I mean, that man
but at least he would achieve what he's always wanted.
Yes.
I'd rather he die in office if that were his, you know what I mean? Like if that would help him. But by the way, I'm not a fan of any like you're a big Bernie fan. I'm not a fangirl for anybody who's in public office because he is a politician. He's a governor.
He's a
or senator,
public servant.
Yeah. So what do you mean? He's a politician.
But a politician is someone who like is trying to sell you on something.
He's trying to sell people on Medicare for all. He's trying to sell, like, what do you mean? He's selling us on his plan. Granted, I am starting to view his plan in a way that you're getting me to agree with you in some things. But he is a politician. He's trying to sell us just like anybody else. But I'm not a fangirl for anybody who is a politician. I'm just not. So I don't look at it that way. But if he's going to be a benefit to America, then yes, I want the best. I want the best for him. I think right now I'm not bitter, but I'm just like so confused as to why people aren't all rising up against tyranny and against an oligarchy. Because if you have the attitude that we're just going to end up with like Hillary didn't make it, you know what I mean? Like I don't want to end up with a Hillary either, but I'd rather end up with a Hillary type than a Trump. Sorry. I would have rather Kamala. We've talked about this too. And I think you agreed. I don't want that. I want to be more forward thinking and to achieve some of the things that are going to help the people that need it the most. But I'm not going to say it's all or nothing and allow this person to stay in power as a result of that. I'm not going to let it hold me back.
Yeah, but I think he is achieving that all or nothing. He is just bullhorning everything through, using every power he has and letting the courts deal with the consequences.
Right. But what I'm saying is like voters like you and me, if you and I aren't aligned, we're never going to get what the American people really need and want. I think this show is a metaphor. What's happening between you and I today is a metaphor for what's happened in America, the fracturing of people not being able to understand, like, again, seeing the forest for the trees. You've got me to come over on your end on Medicare for all. What have you done to come over on my end? And maybe it's rhetorical.
What I have to say is I think we're fighting over the same basic things. Like, I'm not asking all or nothing. I'm saying we deserve what every other poorer than us country has, like college and healthcare and childcare, so we don't have the problems that we have.
You're going to get there a hell of a lot sooner than you would with Trump, with Hillary or Kamala type. Even though I don't like them either, I like them a hell of a lot more than I would Trump.
That Trump is the way forward. Like,
no,
I'm saying if you want a real challenger to him, you need to give the people something that they can rally around. And people were happy when they got checks. People were happy when they got a check for their kids every month during COVID. It's like we saw what the government can do and how the government can step in and support everyday people instead of billionaires and giving away all of our wealth. And
well, they still were able to support the billionaires and they had the surplus, and that's why we have the debt that we do, which also is like more than it's ever been, and it's going to grow even further. Yeah, because the new debt has actually grown by over $150 billion.
Yeah, and I saw the IRS is estimating they're gonna lose $500 billion in revenue they're able to collect because of the cuts. So I'm saying beef up these programs. Like Medicare for All would save us $500 billion a year.
Right, but it's never, we're even further. And now, by the way, I came over to your side. I was not a fan of it before. I came over because I think it's so crucial right now. And at least on its face, it makes perfect sense because I'm already thinking of how can I help the American people with that $650 million. However, we're never going to get there if more people like you don't see, look, we have to come together. Democrat, independent, anywhere in between, we are going to figure out a way out of this mess together. We're in this together because we have a common enemy. Because you're never going to get that
Isn't
with
that what
a
happened
Republican
every
president.
other time with Biden? Biden's the only one who can beat Trump. Biden's the only one who can beat Trump. And then we basically ushered
He did beat
Trump.
him.
He did, but guess what happened
Yeah, he
afterwards?
squeaked
People
it
weren't
out.
happy. They weren't happy with the result because when you're like, let's all just settle for not Trump, then we're not doing anything. Like you're picking.
But you're still
The
closer to what you
lesser-
want with that person than you would with the alternative, which is Trump. And that's
But
what
there's
happened.
a pendulum swinging. So just because you think you're closer doesn't mean it's not going to swing back and completely wipe out all of your perceived progress.
It just happened because he got elected a second time.
Yep.
So all of your perceived progress, like, again, I'm fine. I'm still fine. But there's a lot of people that are now disenfranchised. All that perceived progress has been ameliorated completely. It's gone. It's completely gone.
I don't think it's completely gone. I think
It's completely
you can crush-
gone because this has only been 6 months. Imagine 3 years and 6 months from now. It's going to be gone.
You can
unless
crush
you
spirits,
fight.
but souls live forever.
Souls live forever, but not on this earth.
When I'm trying to make an analogy, like this anti-oligarchy movement, as one of the things, you have thousands of people attending. I think that there is hope, for better or worse, hope and change is still possible.
You have to be optimistic. You do. But I don't have the same views like of a couple thousand people, even of 50,000. Like I love that so many people turned out for AOC and Bernie, but it's not enough. We're talking about a country that has 350 million people and growing, and that's completely led by Republicans and conservatives in 2025, where we should be many moons ahead of that by now. All the strides that the Democratic Party has made, and for the people, I'm just talking about stuff for the people. I'm not talking about all the crap that both parties do that sucks, that should be taken away. Power should be taken away. Certain people, like I've said it in episode 1, some people in America have too much freedom. We got to take that away because this is what happens. And then I don't want all of us to lose our freedom because of those bums that can't do anything with it or that do the wrong thing. It's kind of like animal cruelty, right? Because there's not enough rules to help animals. These fuckers think that they can do whatever they want because they're just considered property. So instead of building more shelters and starting more rescues and giving more money to charity, we have to start fighting with more laws, more lobbyists, changing prosecution of current laws so actually they get prosecuted. You have to make them accountable. Make it so bad that if they commit these crimes, that they won't do it again. That's what a true law and order society is. That same platform, I mean that for politics as well. If and when we ever get power again, this has to not be allowed. There cannot be a criminal in the White House. There can't be Fox News, newscasters put in positions of power that can change lives, that can take away lives, that can make critical decisions for a whole nation that could put us into World War III. You can't have idiots in power. It's just not cool, especially if they're criminals, especially if they beat their wife, especially if they do the things that these fuckers are doing in this administration. It's not okay. Kristi Nomi, fuck you. You killed your dog and now you're on television commercials saying, hey, we're going to fucking deport you. If you leave on your own and you want to come back, cool. Thank you, President Trump. Thank you. Sucky, spit. Like all these Trump hoes, like I'm not into it. It's crazy. I feel like I'm living in not an oligarchy. I feel like I'm living in a dictatorship.
On a lighter note, I heard
I just hope, see, if people don't listen, like you don't seem like you're listening.
I am listening, and let me finish sentences. I'd appreciate that.
You completely changed the subject. It has nothing to do with finishing a sentence, but it's fine. I'm done. I'm good with my rant. Some people you just can't get through. On a lighter subject, you wanted to change the subject. Change it.
On a lighter note, because you said you didn't even want to talk politics, but
I know, but I did want to talk about pardoning because it was so important to me, and you deflated it. So I guess you're cool with pardoning criminals, so it's fine.
That is so unfair.
No, you said Biden didn't. You're responsible. Well, Biden didn't.
I didn't say Trump good, Biden bad. I said this is a precedent that presidents have, and I don't agree with any of their ability to blanket pardon people.
Right, but you're missing the point that this president is setting a new precedent by doing it to the degree that he's doing it for criminals.
And that worries me because it's been building for years, is what I'm saying. this ability and the powers. Once a president uses a power and there's nothing to stop them and the courts don't challenge it, then that precedent is set. The next president can do it.
I mean, the Supreme Court.
And we don't know who we're going to get next. That's the thing. What happens if we actually get a full-on authoritarian oligarch, like a billionaire? What if Elon Musk should become president? Could you imagine?
Thank God he's not. But
I know, but I'm just saying
he's second in command to the presidency already.
We're building a bad bridge to a destruction.
Think of what you just said. Imagine if Elon Musk was president. He is inches away from it, sir. He's inches away. He's making decisions that only a president usually makes. This guy, who's the richest guy in the world. So imagine, guess what? He's already there. He's second in command. Those two butt buddies are together. That's why his nickname is Elania. He's making decisions that presidents make. So whatever you're talking about is delusional. He's there. He's already in the second in command position, unelected. So imagine if he was. Okay, I'm imagining it. He's there. He's there.
He doesn't have pardon power is what I'm saying. Like the powers that our president actually has. Like he's not Trump.
Thank God.
Elon.
Thank God he's not Trump.
An imaginary situation.
Trump
to say what if and do we want presidents to have this power is what I'm saying.
Well, the Supreme
We're not
Court.
Disagreeing.
The Supreme Court actually says that presidents can even have more power than they ever had. So you're going, America is going in the wrong direction, because if you're saying you want that power to go away, they've just given him more. They've said he can have more. He has even more latitude. You're not going to be able to prosecute him for the things that he's done as president. That's a new Supreme Court decision that's happened in the past couple of years. So instead of going the direction where you want to go, it's a great representation of how we're going even further. It's becoming even further away from that. He has not less power, more power. We're not closer to Medicare for all. We're further. We're not closer for like equality and all that. We're even further. So that's why I'm saying it's so important that people, even if they have differing views, to find a way to get something from the other person and to respect the other person and to give back to that other person. Like I took something from you that I thought was beneficial that I initially was against, and I saw the common sense. I saw the light in it. I saw the hope in it. And I think that other people can do the same thing. And it's about reciprocity, and it's about coming together for a common enemy. Because if we don't, we're doomed. That is why I'm so I feel so strongly about it. Now, do I really want to talk about politics anymore? No, because my stomach hurts and I'm tired and I'm already cranky. And talking about this shit is so depressing, and I don't need that in my life. I need fun.
Yeah, well, on a lighter note again, there's a new acronym for him, Taco Man, and it stands for Trump Always Chickens Out. And a reporter asked him if he had heard about it, and he was enraged and told her she was an evil, nasty person. So social media has just exploded. You know, he does his little shimmy on stage with the tacos. They made him into a super taco supreme, like his face is the taco. All these taco imageries, a little chicken head for his little hair piece that's flying off. They put a little rooster feet on the side of his head, and apparently it's really getting to him. Just like Alanya, which Musk is now leaving. He said he will be ending his term.
Big deal.
So I have high hopes for our next caricature, and I think we're going to involve some tacos because apparently it really pisses him off.
I mean, look, he's juvenile and grade school, so yeah, mockery works, but it only goes so far because he's still got all the power. So yeah, if that's giving him like a fucking skid in his undies, great. Like it's putting it in a bunch, but is that really enough? I'm not saying it's going to change the world, but you just want to get a good laugh out of it.
No, I think that the fact that this president, who seems so powerful, is going to have a military parade could be taken to heel by calling him Mr. Taco.
Did it though? Like, did the girl
really upset him?
And he called her a nasty bitch. And was she like, okay, well, I'm going to go order tacos for lunch, Taco Man? Like, did she I just want to see somebody fire something back, because I'm afraid now that if God knows if I were that person, he said that to me, I would fire back. And I'd be afraid in today's society, even in America, that he would lock me up. That's how scary it is. Did she say anything back? Because she sounds like she's got some cojones.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, it was like a press room. So you get your question and you sit back
Oh,
down.
it was
and they
in the
cut your mic
press
off.
room?
Yeah.
Oh my God. And she said, oh, like she
How do you
actually
feel
brought
about
out
the new name for you, Mr. Taco Man. And he was like, that's a nasty question. You're an evil, nasty woman.
and now
So
he's
he
just
clearly is aware of this new taco thing, and it's upsetting him. I'm saying, like, it's like a child in a man's body is what I'm trying to kind of get through. And it's,
Oh, I got that. I got that a long time ago.
disconnect of strongman versus immature baby who can be taken down by an acronym.
No, I agree. But that's what makes him dangerous, is because he's only like fronting like he's strong. And with the might of the presidency, he is. And by the way, and all the billions of dollars that he inherited, he also is. But in his soul, deep down, he's just an asshole. He's just a lowly, I guess, taco man.
And he does always
Trump
chicken out.
ain't
It came from Wall Street. They started
What is
calling it
it?
taco. It's Trump always chickens out.
Oh, okay.
Because with the tariff thing, it's like the tariffs have been changed like 60 or so times for the different countries in the last like month or so. So Wall Street coined this term and it just took off. Like they started to call him taco. Trump always chickens out.
I hadn't even heard it.
It's brand new and it really upset him. And it's funny. I love all the imagery.
I love that
it's
he's
really
so
hilarious, honestly.
I love that he's
Some
upset.
of it was honestly pretty genius. Like the rooster, we'll have to post that on our.
I mean,
social media.
Alania has gotten a lot of, like that has gone a long way. I know that he hates that. And like everybody is calling him Alania now, I think. I mean, I don't know. I don't think he's that popular. That's another thing. And yet people are still supporting his businesses. Like, is Tesla still continuing to tank? Is X still continuing to tank? Like, I'm just wondering, like, are things, oof, wow, yeah. Well, I mean, look, if the hairpiece fits, wear it.
He's like, I think, like, he created the AI image of him as the Pope and him as, like, Superman and whatever, and this, I think it really gets to him, especially with the actor.
So he's trying to get ahead of it.
Chickens out.
Yeah.
It's like, it really hits him because it makes him appear weak. And then the fact that he responds like that only makes him look weaker. And I can't imagine
him look like a little wuss.
Putin, and could you imagine what Putin or Kim Jong-un would do? I mean, it is you said you'd be worried about getting locked up, but the journalists didn't get locked up.
No, I said if I was a journalist and I would mouth off.
Could you?
But I wouldn't. I would also be a
Yeah.
professional. You know what I mean? And I'd be able to ask a question without.
Yeah, but when
I'm just talking like that because it's like, you know what I mean? Like some kid journalist or whatever, like he might say the wrong thing to the wrong person, but that person may end up being locked up because we're not in actual America anymore. We're in Trump's America.
Yeah.
Remember how I said when Bernie and AOC were having their big thing and, they flew a plane? Hey, you're in Trump country. Remember that?
You told me, yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's scary. That's not funny anymore. Like that hairpiece with the rooster. Yeah, that's kind of funny. That's great. Whoever did that is awesome.
That's just one of them. I don't have time to show you the
I love
video,
it.
but
I love that.
That one was
those
funny
pictures.
picture.
Remember the other episode when you showed me pictures of Trump in a horde of black guys, like smiling?
Or Trump sucking Elon's toes.
Dude, him surrounded by black people that he's trying to disenfranchise by the second, smiling, all fake happy, like that. I lost my mind seeing that. That made me so happy. That was hysterical. But it's not what's happening today, like in day-to-day America, to hardworking Americans is not funny. That's the scary part. Like, I want to find the humor. I want to find the lightness. What I'm having trouble with is that, like, the pardons that set me up, obviously I got my pennies in a bunch over that because it's like, dude, do we really need more criminals on the street? Do we really, like, honestly, like, what the fuck, dude? How can I find light in all the darkness that's happening in our country? And how do we fight against it if we're not, the other side isn't even unified? We're fighting amongst ourselves. How are we going to topple this fucking regime? Like, it really is like authoritarian regime. It's as close as you're going to get in America, and it's inching closer to like that crescendo where it's like the point of no return. That's what scares me. I mean, I just read an article that there was a warning that we are getting closer to World War III because things are so unstable in the world. And there's no like world power that's like holding it all together. I know people can't see like my gesticulation, like, and I'm Italian, so I like to talk with my hands. But I'm doing it too much and there's no camera, so I apologize for that. But it's like, I get worried.
in your voice, you know.
Like, I wish I could have the years. Like, I look at you with your youth, and how many times have I told you, like, life is so short, it passes you by. You want to do it now, because tomorrow isn't promised. Like, I'm worried for the other, 20 somethings who are not taking this as a serious threat. Because you're like, look, when you're my age, like, I'm going to have my toes in the beach, be surrounded by animals, and I'm not going to be worried about it. You're the one who's going to have to worry about it.
Yeah,
so I'm
all the kids
worried
born today.
for fucking you, man. I'm worried for you. So you better like, I don't know. You and yours better fire it up, because now is the time.
We want better, and we're not willing to make concessions around basic things that every other country, even countries we consider lesser developed, have.
No, you read me the list one of the episodes past, and I was like, I didn't even know one of the countries existed. I'd never even heard of it before, and they have more rights and more freedoms and more stuff that protects citizens than we do. It's like, what the fuck? And we're going in the wrong direction. Anyway, politics, we got to stop. I want to talk about fun shit. Are we good? We're good with politics. We're not even going to go back here, right?
Yeah,
I'm going to talk about.
This to be 45 minutes. So you've got 4 minutes.
Fuck. Can we do an hour? Is there any chance in hell? Because it's our 12th anniversary, and I do want to end on a high note. Do you know who Sherry Papini is?
Sherry Papini. I start talking.
I hope you know. She was the chick who lied about being kidnapped up in Redding, California, a couple years back.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. So there's a new ID. It's on Max. There's a new. I've been following the story since the beginning.
And what's it called?
It's called. I think it's called "Living a Lie." The Sherry Papini story, like something like that. It was on ID. It's on Max. Sherry Papini is. I mean, I am riveted. You know how we wanted to talk about Gypsy Rose, and then we never got to it in a different episode. She's the new Gypsy Rose. Did you ever watch The Act on Hulu?
Of course, yes. That's why I got.
Oh, that's how you knew about Gypsy Rose?
Yeah.
The first season, remember how I had buyer's remorse after I bought it, because like Gypsy Rose is a fucking murderer. Like, fuck her. Why did I just give her money? And I'm not going to do it again. But anyway, season 1 is now for free I think it's on Max. Season 1 of Gypsy Rose, like after the cell closes or whatever, on Lifetime or whatever the fuck it was. So you need to watch season 1, and season 2 is currently airing on Lifetime now.
I also want to plug for people who remember Honey Boo Boo.
Yeah, I never knew anything about. She was the big,
there's a new
fat girl, right?
Yeah,
and she was big. She also had like a big fat mom.
Yes, before she got all her work done. But there's a new like docu-series movie narrated by her, and it really goes in depth to what was going on behind the scenes in the show, and how basically the network knew that there was abuse, sexual abuse. The mother
was abused. Honey Boo Boo was abused?
Honey Boo Boo wasn't abused. Her sister was raped by one of the mom's boyfriends. I believe it was Sugar Bear was his name. Mom let him back into the house. Yeah, she took all the money from the show. She wound up on heroin. Like
the sister?
No, the mom.
The mom who lost all this weight?
Yes.
Took the money from
from the girl.
I mean, the show is Boo Boo, right?
Yeah.
I never watched it. I don't know. I saw a picture of it, and then I saw a picture of the mom, and that was it. But I know nothing about the show, the premise, the backstory. So basically the mom's a scumbag.
Yeah. She got her start on, what was that show?
Mama June.
Mama June.
Right? Okay. I know the name from, okay.
And apparently, like, there was this stuff called go-go juice, which everyone knew about and joked about. No one really knew what it was. And apparently she makes liquor and some energy drinks in to get her to be more precarious on stage, like a 5-year-old little girl. So her mom has been basically mentally and physically abusing her entire life and pushing her into show business.
Her mom's a cunt.
Yeah.
Her mom's a fucking cunt. Can we use cunt and still be on YouTube? Can we get?
Yeah.
I know some.
We're not even eligible for monetization yet. So.
Oh, so we're total losers. So we can say whatever the fuck we want.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, see, it's people like that to me are just pieces of shit. They're human garbage. Like, fuck her. So how many people is this bitch gonna hurt? And if she's conservative, maybe she'll get
kind of what, like,
in jail, and then she'll be pardoned.
We made a spectacle out of the family.
Yeah.
Laughed as the mom was getting money, destroying her life and her kid's life, and then winding up on heroin.
I mean, see, maybe, look, I'm not better than anybody, but I wouldn't watch that show. Like, just based on what I'm hearing the show was about, I would rather die. I'd pick death by Unga Bunga over that show. But Americans do like trash TV, and
I mean, the Kardashians is a thing for a reason.
I would never watch that, but because it's
like
so boring
opposite,
and
like
fake,
seeing the extreme wealth, you see them in extreme poverty. Like they're in Georgia, they live in like a trailer park home. Like they eat sketty, which is like the
Skittles
spaghetti.
and spaghetti.
Like spaghetti with ketchup. Like that is their, like one of their.
Is ketchup
meals.
less expensive than spaghetti sauce? I mean, you can get probably like Prego, and it's the same price as Heinz. Like,
if you don't have money to buy both, so you choose the ketchup, which you can use for pretty much everything.
Well, they got the pasta already, so I think that they're just not good at menu selection. Like, they're grabbing like every which way but loose, but they don't know how to put shit together. Like,
yeah, the mom would
although
like,
that might be a model for most of America.
She was on. She was one of those extreme couponers. Like, you collect all the coupons, you basically get everything at the store for pennies on the dollar or free.
I don't think they still had coupons.
We're talking about when this show was on. This was, a good decade ago.
Was it? All right. Has there been any accountability for anybody in the Boo Boo Clan? Like, is the mom now in prison or at least sanctioned? Is like Sugar Bear, like, where's Sugar Bear?
Who knows?
Somebody else living his best life because no accountability for Sugar Bear
But
either.
I'm glad that they gave Honey Boo Boo, or what's her name? Alana,
Alana's the one who got molested.
No, her older sister did. Alana was little and she was Honey Boo Boo.
Alana's Honey Boo Boo.
Yes.
Same person.
Yeah, she was like, I'm Honey Boo Boo Child. Like, and that's where the name caught on. She was like in an interview and she said that. And then that name blew up. But I'm glad they gave her a platform to talk about it because apparently she went to regular school afterwards. People bullied her. They were like, oh, where's all your money? Like, you're Honey Boo Boo, you're fat, you're chubby. They really...
Well, kids can be so cruel, but so is society.
Yeah, but like you had all this money and you were a child star and now you have nothing and you live with your sister. Because your mom...
Is that what happened to her?
Yeah.
Well, where's Big Fat Mama June, who lost all the weight? Oh, Mama June left her own daughter?
Yes, she left. She was doing drugs. The daughter took Alana in. And the mom, I don't really know. Like,
we don't know the
around.
whereabouts of Mama June. But you said last you heard she's on heroin.
Last they know of.
So she's eating ketchup on her pasta, and also instead of taking Ozempic, she uses heroin. I mean, look, that's a fast. I don't know how cheap it is, but it's a fast way to lose weight.
I mean, now
you might lose all your teeth.
Major, what was it, like the
gastro?
Yeah, she had major surgeries, and she used all of Alana's money for that. Like they're in Georgia, so the laws around like withholding, like the money for the child, don't really exist.
That's horrible.
So she was just able to take.
But do you see how
money.
society hasn't learned? Because guess who else got fucked like that? Like Gary Coleman, remember him from Different Strokes?
Of course.
He got so fucked. He ended up doing like porn and like crazy. I mean, who wants to see Gary Coleman in porn? God love him, but he literally like would do anything for money because his own parents stole all of his money.
Yeah.
And now, 20 years later, and this fucking cunt steals from her own daughter, and she allows another one of her daughters to get molested or whatever. What a piece of human garbage. Like, there's some people that they shouldn't even like be able to share this world with the rest of us. Like, fuck them. I think that's where that's why I get fired up about stuff, is because I have no more tolerance for people that are just a fucking worthless waste of flesh. I'm so sick of certain people.
Yeah.
That's why I put my energy in other things, because some people, you got to save yourself. If you're that far gone, fuck you. And if you're going to hurt other people, we're going to keep you away from everybody so you can't. That's why I believe in punishing crimes, because you shouldn't be able to have the same freedom as everybody else, because you just have hurt all these people. Some people have killed other people.
Yeah.
And they're just with all the rest of us. It's not fair. It's not society. It's not democracy. It's not any of the above. So I get so pissed over that. There's some people like Sherry, the reason why I brought up Sherry Papini, she didn't kill anybody, but she basically, I mean, it's too convoluted to tell, and we're running out of time, but anybody who doesn't know Sherry Papini, don't Google her. I want you to listen to podcasts about her. I want you to watch specials about her. Do not Google her. Google after, because so much new stuff has even happened recently, because she's just now told, yet another, she's a big liar, but she's told yet another lie, and I don't want to spoil it, that I want you guys to watch and enjoy like I did, because I was riveted, because I knew the story.
Yeah.
And if you don't, like, if you want something to watch over the weekend,
yeah, it's called Sherry Papini, Caught in the Lie. Yeah. And it premieres on ID as well as Max.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I highly recommend it. And by the way, it wasn't like, I know the story, so I started to like fade a little bit, because it got a little like, yeah, okay, next, I want this to be juicier. Like, when's the next dramatic scene,
Yeah.
But as somebody who doesn't know the story, I think it would be like an onion unraveling. It would be riveting. And then it'll set the stage for you to dive in deeper. And then some of the podcasts that are out there, I think, are really, really good. I think
Do you know the name of any of them, so we can
not on Sherry Papini in particular. Like, I want to do, if it's okay with you, our next episode, I want to talk about our favorite podcast
on ID.
But can I mention Last of Us? Because I know it's a popular show. Do you watch The Last of Us on Max?
I've seen the first
season.
Yes.
Okay.
I think I completed
it was great.
I wasn't positive. Yes.
The first season was great.
I really like Pedro Pascal.
Okay. But I hate spoilers, so I don't know what I can or cannot say. Okay, but so I have an immediate response. Can we do a spoiler alert right now? Okay, if you're a Last of Us watcher and you have not yet watched season 2, starting at episode 2, turn us off right now. Love you. See you next time, but turn us off right now. Okay. That being said, Pedro. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm going to spoil it for you. Wait, hold on. Totally everybody, fine. Don't leave yet. I don't want to do that to you.
I won't, to be like there's so many threads that go on. It's like, no, we're good.
He died.
He did.
He died in episode 2. They killed him off.
Really?
And it became, and obviously.
What happened? Like,
what?
So what I'm saying is, did the show change in the way that you liked it?
I'm such an asshole that it changed so dramatically as a result of his death, and it became completely built on the kid, the asexual. Yeah. Well, she's not. I mean, she's asexual, so I don't know what But it came. She's a person, but it became all centered on her and her. I'm going to give too much away, but I didn't like that. It wasn't. It was polarizing.
Yeah.
It made me kind of hate her. And as an ally, I didn't want to watch a show about her and her thoughts about life and what she's going to do with her life. And she went off with this girl, and it was like, the show turned into The Two of Us instead of The Last of Us.
Yeah.
And as an ally, I'm going to say, like, I want to know if the ratings tanked, because as an ally,
looking it up right now.
I don't want to watch her. I'm not a fan of her. I'm not rooting for her. And I don't want to watch this asexual girl who I don't root for and don't like go off with another girl on a mission that I don't believe in. And I'm picking my words carefully not to spoil certain things, but it's like, I stopped watching it. It was one of my favorite shows. I just stopped watching it, and I have no interest to go back.
And you are not alone. According to the viewership statistics from HBO, that dropped 30% in viewership.
30% after episode 2?
From the opening episode to the last episode.
Wow.
I didn't give it number by number, but I'm going to guess that drop-off happened after Pedro Pascal, which I don't think that they had a choice. I know he's in
he's a big actor now. Yeah.
In multiple upcoming movies.
He probably agreed to do it. It was a contract, and he's like, I'm going to give you a solid, because that helped him blow up.
100%.
So,
100%.
They used to do this back in the day where they'd have an actor who said, look, I don't want to do season 3. Like, I got this big role. I got a pilot. I want to do that instead. But they'll say, look, we're going to kill you off. We're going to write you off, but just do these first 2 episodes for us, and you're golden. Yep. And I'm sure that's what he did. Because I was surprised when he got killed. I was surprised. But what happened was that they built the show around characters that most people won't like. I'm an ally, and I'm not a fan of hers, and I'm not for her. So just imagine, like, conservative America who watched Last of Us is like, what the fuck? I'm not down with this. This is stupid. and again, I hate to go back to this, but it's like, you can't lose your allies. You lose your allies, you're screwed. It's a metaphor for life right now. You gotta have allies. You have to have
but
that,
it's
or
show
else you're
business.
lost.
How do you just replace him? And I mean, they're trying to save their losses. Maybe,
But you can't build it around
I know.
the lesser of the two characters, who also has a bit of a like polarization to her. Like, I never really liked her, but there was other characters that they would bring on and develop to an extent where I was like, okay, I want to see what happens next. Oh, they ended up dead. Okay, cool. What about this other person? Like, you have to have, because it's a cast of characters. It can't be just built on these two. So it's all the other stuff that's happening. It builds interest. It builds connection. It builds like, an evolving storyline. And where they left us was with a character that was the central to the storyline that I didn't believe in and I didn't like.
And I just saw interesting fact. This was planned all along, to kill him off. And then, it says it was done to stay true to the source material, from the video game. So,
I didn't see. I had no idea it was a video game.
That's where the concept came from. It started out as a video game and then they made it into a TV series. So I'm guessing that they wanted to keep true, but they didn't think of the ramifications of what if we delete the person, like video game terminology.
Yeah.
Who is the main draw to the show, and it's like trying to keep the fandoms, like the nerds and whatever, and the people who like have played this video game for forever happy, but alienating the audience, the mass audience who watches the show and didn't even know it was a video game to begin with.
I love the reverence for staying true to the video game, but I wonder if the video game had the second central character be an asexual, unlikable, like, person. It probably didn't, right?
I don't know. I've never played the video game. That's why this really interested me, and I will look further into that.
I want to know.
We can talk more about The Last of Us, and
or the two of us.
Season 2?
No, I told you I stopped watching it. It became the two of us. So I was like, no, I don't care about those two.
Yeah, so you were part of that 30% in drop off.
Goodbye. And once I'm gone, I never go back. I never go back. No, I'm lying. One time, and I admitted to it on this podcast, Daredevil Born Again, because people told me that it got better. So I did go back. It wasn't great, by the way, still, but it did get better. The final episode, I stopped like a loser. I stopped one episode before the season finale because I was so turned off. It was so bleak and so dark and too reminiscent of what's going on in our society and our government in America now. So I just couldn't handle it. And it wasn't enjoyable. I wasn't having fun. Like that Marvel shit, you have so much fun. You watch an X-Men movie, X-Men 1 and 2, like, oh my God, dude, they're so much fucking fun. They're so fun. And watching Daredevil Born Again, I was like, when do I get to look at my phone again? Like, when can I just go outside with the dogs? Like, it was not fun.
Yeah,
but I did go back to it, and it was okay.
There's a quote from him after leaving the show, and I think this is part of why it was so good, because he actually really liked doing the part. He said, I'm in active denial. I know that I'm forever bonded to so many members of the experience and just have to see them under different circumstances, but never will under the circumstances of playing Joel on The Last of Us. And no, I don't spend a lot of time thinking about it because it makes me sad.
Oh, a lot of people really like him.
Yeah. And I think it sounds like even he was disheartened by, he's like, I know that they have to keep,
although I'm sure he's been
I have nothing but respect
correct
for the level of investment that people have in a video game or a TV show or a movie or book. And then he went on to say, I'm in active denial. Like, he understood.
He was so articulate.
Wanted to go with
the
route of keeping true, but it sounds like he didn't want to leave the show. So,
well, that and the fact that he can only be at one place at one time, and he probably had so many things going because he's blown up that he just couldn't do it. That's his nice, like, very congenial way of saying, look, I couldn't do it anyways, but I love you guys.
But the consensus is definitely ruled in your favor. People are very disappointed, and it looks like it's in risk for its next seasons.
Of course. I mean,
unless they seriously rewrite or figure out some other plot from the game that they missed or could pull in. They
gotta kill off the other central character. That's the problem. But to do that, you have to build all these other, like, you know, the people that were, this is part of season 1, right? His his brother was in the village and all that. I didn't even like any of those people. Like there was just so few people that you were rooting for that if you're going to kill a central character, you have to have other characters that can fill that void emotionally for your viewer. And nobody did that. In fact, they turned me off.
Yeah.
They underestimated. I was watching that for him, what he would give up, what he would do for love, and what people will do to survive. And I want to see not just him and the girl, but what other people do to survive. Because there's right on all, like we got into at the beginning. This is a great way to summarize this episode and to sign off. There's right on all sides, but I'm not a fan of all those sides. Like to watch your ass, I gotta be a fan. I have to care ultimately about what happens to you. And because of poor character development, like what they left me with, episode 3 of season 2 was something that was unwatchable.
Yeah.
Turned off. Please, by the way, listeners, don't think of this episode and think of us in that same way. Whatever, like, give us feedback, whatever we're doing, hopefully you're liking, but, don't do to us what I did to the two of us, because The Last of Us, the two of us. It was bad. And we're trying to be good. So,
give comments. Don't delete us. Okay.
Don't delete. What else? We should probably sum it up. We never, this is the 3rd episode in a row where we never even got to Gypsy Rose. But why don't you watch, because you have Max, why don't you watch season 1, Life After Prison, or whatever it's called, Life After something, Gypsy Rose. Because you'll see what a shit person she is. And the whole time hopefully the background, what part she took in the gruesome murder of her mother.
So what I want to ask is, did you feel like less sympathy for her after watching this?
Yes.
Then, okay, but you did have like some level of, wow, like, her life was bad. Like just after watching the act, like, did you feel for her?
Yes, after watching the act, I looked at the facts.
So this changes,
because that was like sensationalized, right?
In prison and whatever, and what she has to say really changes the narrative.
Seeing the real, and this is, by the way, is heavily edited and still a packaged program, right? So maybe not the act because it's less scripted, but it's still a program and still fictional to some degree. It's like the sides of her that the producers and her family want us to see. But even given that, and I've been in entertainment my entire life, basically, so I know all this.
Yeah, and they can cut it to make it seem however they want.
Despite all that, I still couldn't stand her by the end of season 1 because I realized what a dark soul she is and what a selfish bitch she is. And I realized that she is a fucking asshole that probably should still be in prison and not out filming shows and getting rich. The American dream, baby.
Yep, Anna Delvey's.
Oh my God, Anna Delvey can fucking suck it. She fucking sucks. I hate people like that. Although she didn't kill anybody, but I hate people like that.
Like Uber, the whole concept, like they didn't make money for. I think that they are still almost not making money. They make
Uber.
Yeah, they don't make money. They lose money, just like Amazon. They were losing money for most of their existence, and you get to a point where you break even and then start making profit. But it requires this capital investment. You are promising those investors you will eventually make money. And that's what Anna Delvey was doing too. But she didn't have a product to back that up. Amazon had a product that now it's paid off, right? That's a great illustration of how it pays off. Hey, I'm going to do this. You invest in me. Look at what's going to happen to us. And all those people got mega, mega rich. Anna Delvey did it without anything to back it up. That's why I always give Jeff Bezos kudos. I always have, right? Because he actually built something that everybody liked. You get these books delivered. I have a lot to say about that, but we won't.
Look, we talked about J.K. Rowling. A lot of people could say the same thing. This is another polarizing figure, but she gives a lot to charity. She gave the world Harry Potter. There's something positive about that person. Somebody like Anna Delvey is just a fucking succubus on the world. She doesn't give to anybody. She just took. J.K. is a twat, but she gave some stuff.
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos, you might hate, but he gave us these very speedy deliveries.
At the cost of humans.
Yeah. But how many people are benefiting? You have to look at, that's what I'm saying. You have to look at
I
good
think that there are
and
more
bad,
humane
and
ways
be
to operate
common.
and still make your deliveries on time.
It didn't, though. That's the reason why Amazon got so well established, and they're now one of the richest corporations in the world, and Jeff Bezos is the second richest guy because there wasn't that. All the dream of what you're talking about didn't exist.
But his current model, like he is the second richest person in the world, he could afford to make sure that all of his employees are well compensated.
Thank you. That's the difference. So don't look at the person trying to do this amazing thing and get rich as a villain over here, because that's done. That's the American dream. That's capitalism.
Yes.
That's what everybody strives to do, is make more money and have more and be more. And actually, I don't, but I want to have a more fruitful and purposeful existence. And it does take money to do that. You can't give to charity without fucking money. You gotta have money. So he's building. Here's where he lost me now, because now you have this wealth. You have this reach. If I were him, now I would say, I can do whatever the fuck I want. I'm not going to buy that $180 million yacht. I'm going to donate $180 million to the homeless in the United States. And I want to be a part. I'm going to have a seat on that board so I see where every dollar goes. So I'm seeing these people in homes. I want to see homes for these people, actual homes. Just like I said, what I would do with the money, $650 million with the Medicare for all.
Billion.
Thank you. Right? Like,
billion.
I'm fading. I'm tired. I'm so like depleted from life, but also this podcast, because it makes me think. It makes me think about the plight of the everyday people. The difference between me and Jeff Bezos, and likely you and Jeff Bezos, is that once we reach that echelon, we would then, it's my turn to give back. Society has given me this much. Now I'm going to give back. I'm doing it in my own small way now, because I feel like I've been given so much. And I've been very lucky. I'm a very lucky guy. I've been given so much. I need to help those that can't help themselves. Animals, kids, old people. That's my thing. What Jeff Bezos could have done with that money would have changed, maybe not the world, but maybe he could have changed America. Can you imagine changing America?
He didn't funnel all that. Well, if he didn't get like a billion, whatever you want to be a billionaire, he's hundreds of billionaires.
But he's making life worse for people instead of better. He gave them a gift and then made them pay for that.
Rich, the money, because he got that rich by paying very low wages.
He doesn't pay taxes, dude. They're paying even less in taxes with the current administration because he's one of the people, Trump is one of the people that benefits from this, all these tax loopholes. There are people in his administration that are becoming multi-millionaires from all this insider trading, from all of their benefits and breaks, from all their legislation. They're becoming multi-millionaires off of being a public servant. That's why I look to people like Bernie and I'm like, you know what? Say whatever you want about that dude. He's not for that. He's actually somebody who's trying to change things for the better. And I have a lot of respect for people like that. 100%. I hope I can be more of someone like that and inspire people. I do. You know, I go about it in a totally different way, I'm sure. And I am no Bernie.
And that is what a democracy is. Everyone has their own way, and we eventually find the way to fit the puzzle pieces together.
I just hope we can find a way together that's going to make a better America. That's where I'm at. America needs to be better. And we're going in the wrong direction. We got to make a UB. Fast.
Again, the pendulum can only swing so far before it starts.
No, it swings so far. How many times has that happened? And then you had World War I, and then the pendulum swings so far, and then you have World War II. Like, you don't want it to swing that far because then sometimes you can't come back.
Yeah.
The World War III won't be like 1 and 2 because now we have nukes and we have all this advancement. There might not be a world anymore. What happens when democracy dies? That's one thing. When the world dies, that's it. Life is life.
And I think I said this in our first episode. The world won't die. We will. It will wipe us out.
You did say that first episode. Yeah.
It will wipe us
out. We'll be dead,
Nature
but the organisms
will reclaim, and humans won't exist anymore. We won't be able to survive it.
Speaking of algae. Inside joke. Speaking of algae, we gotta sign off, but love it.